Today's video, we're going to talk about how much to pay per click on Google. The no BS answer that other YouTubers are basically going to give you and that I'm not going to give you here. Here's how to make more money on Google, taking advantage of lower cost per click or as low as cost per click that you can get away with paying and still get quality leads and sales ultimately and ROI from Google ads, okay? There's multiple considerations here that goes into how much you're going to basically pay and what you actually have to pay to get results. So with that said, I'll get into the content. What Google shows that you must pay per click in the Google keyword tool is actually pretty accurate, okay? So go into Google keyword tool, search for a few of the keywords that represent your niche, your business niche. And then of course there's going to be a high end and a low end. The high end is what you're going to pay starting out, one, and number two, what you're going to pay assuming you have a trash ad that gets trash click-through rates and a trash page you're taking them to that gets trash conversion rates. And when I say trash, that's it. I mean trash as compared to the other people advertising on the same keywords that you want to advertise for right now. Google just simply takes all the people advertising on the keywords you want, and then they test the click-through rate and the conversion rate of everybody. And what end of that range, that high-low range you end up on, just simply depends on how well you rank compared to those other advertisers. In a nutshell, that is how Google's system works nowadays. And of course, when you search for your keywords and you see there's 4 ads at the top of Google there, well, there's more than 4 people you're competing against, because Google is rotating out different ads for different people at different times. Even if it's for the same keyword, even if you're bidding on the keyword red shoes, there's actually 10 people trying to get in and show for red shoes. Whether one ad of the 10 shows versus another ad, that's determined by Google's algorithm, okay? Based upon click-through rates, conversion rates, but also trying to divvy up the people who search for red shoes and make sure the most ideal ad of the 10 shows as possible to give their users the best experience possible. So the short of this is you want to do as good a job as an advertiser as possible, so you pay as little as possible, but no matter what you do starting out, you're going to be paying a very high cost per click, pretty much at that high end of the range. And you have to earn your respect with Google. Assuming you have the best ad and the best landing page in the world, definitely in your niche, it's going to take the algorithm a certain minimum amount of clicks to see that it performs well on those two metrics and give you a much, much lower cost per click near what that low end of the range is, the low top of page estimate. Now, that said, okay, the keyword tool by itself doesn't show you every keyword. It doesn't show you what they call long tail keywords. So if you were looking for blue or red shoes with black polka dots, people don't search that enough on a monthly basis for that to show up on the Google keyword tool. And that term by itself is less competitive because it's less obvious that a person should bid on that term. Therefore, it should be less per click. So what it's showing in the Google keyword tool, what you're going to pay per click, in actuality, you'll probably pay a little bit less than that starting out and eventually down the road, because there's other terms you can go after that are less competitive that Google keyword doesn't represent and show you as well. And with that, you could pay less over time going after those long tail keywords that aren't so obvious to you up front, but when you run your ads for a while, you can go into your search terms report and look at your search terms data and find these long tail keywords in there that your ads is showing up for semi-consistently, or that you see are converting into a lead or a sale, and then target those keywords individually. Because those keywords are not obvious to bid on, again, you'll pay less per click than something that is obvious to bid on. Because like if you're doing a plumbing service, to give you another example, everybody knows to bid on the keyword plumbing service. What they don't obviously know right out the gate to bid on is plumbing services for backed up septic system. And for all practical purposes, a keyword like that can be 10 times more profitable than plumbing services. Why? Because it's so specific, and the average job size you're going to get off of that is 10 times bigger, if you will. So while there's not a lot of people searching for that, the ones you do get, the leads are going to be better quality, but more importantly, less people are bidding on it directly. Therefore, it should be less competitive. Anything that's less competitive is less cost per click. So you'll be able to pay less. So you should take advantage of your search terms data and start targeting keywords that people aren't going to know to bid on necessarily up front, so that you could pay a less cost per click for that reason specifically. That said, in addition to this, okay, people don't take advantage of remarketing nearly as much as they should, which really brings your averages of what you have to pay per click down substantially, okay? In marketing, there's something called the power of sevens. And what that basically dictates is that you'll make more money advertising to fewer people with your ad budget than you will advertising to more people, but only once. Why? Because people don't take messages that they see from companies seriously until they've usually seen it a few times. This isn't always true, but for the most part it's true, and it's been true for as long as advertising's been around. So, with that said, what people want to do on Google search, if they're running Google search ads, is they want to spend their entire budget just going after people looking for their service or product outright, and then that's it. If they don't buy right then and there on the spot, they don't care, and it's like good enough, basically. What I'm telling you here is that's a retarded move. You can double the amount of sales you can get out of your niche, what's available through Google search in the first place, by following each person up after they leave your site, if they did not buy or if they did not convert into a lead yet. Even if they converted into a lead, following them with other ads will help them convert into a sale at a higher rate. We know this because we tested this and we use it on every single campaign we run because it's that effective. So, and then with that, that's called remarketing. You're probably saying, yeah, I know what remarketing is, and it doesn't really produce results. The reality is that just the fact that your banner ads show up for a person while they're trying to make their decision, it'll increase the likelihood they end up going with you versus somebody else when they make that decision. And the conversion tracking you have is not going to show most of the sales you're going to get as a result of showing banner ads and whatnot to them after they leave your site. Why? Because very few people are going to see your banner ad while they're reading a news article and say, hot diggity damn, I'm going to click on that ad and buy right now. No, they see it, they internalize it. On Friday when they get paid, they go buy. That's how people mostly behave. So you can try to expect Google to say some XYZ amount of people clicked on that ad and then bought, and then that's what you use to dictate whether you're going to spend money on remarketing. Or you could take my advice and instead of that, start your remarketing up, wait 3 months, and see how your sales have been affected. Or if you want to be even more precise, just do remarketing to half your geographic territory that you're covering and not do it in the other half, and then see how your sales are affected on that half where you did the remarketing. But it's not effective if you don't do it with your full ass versus your half of your ass, which is everybody who does remarketing will just pound you over the head with the same damn marketing message over and over and over again. Buy now, buy now, buy now. And people get pissed off about that. It's better than nothing, but not much better than nothing. What you want to do is help that user make a decision. You have ads that show testimonials. You have ads that show your Google reviews. You have ads that say how long you've been in business. You have ads that say you're A+ BBB rated. You have ads that say you have this award or that award. You have ads that say why you're better than the competitor. You have ads that say this scientific study backs why our product technology works, and on and on and on. So that during that window of time from when they initially start doing their research to the time that they buy, they have so much information from you that when they do go to buy and they say, I can't delay this purchase any longer, you're the first person they think of, and you end up with a purchase way more than if you didn't do that follow-up. Like I said, it'll double the potential out of your search ad. So anyway, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because it literally costs a penny to have an ad show up for somebody that after they leave your site that you may have spent $2 or $20 per click to get them to your site in the first place from Google search. So you could bring down your average cost per click from the people you want to sell to substantially when you add in this remarketing, because you could, essentially, a click to your website, if you do the ads the way that I'm telling you, you'll pay 20, 30 cents a click to get them back to your site. And so you're paying literally 10% or even 1% of what it costs to get them to your site in the first place to get them back to the site second, third, fourth, fifth time. And you can see how this, it brings down obviously your overall average, what you're paying per click. And as a result, you get a lot of traffic to your site from the people that you know are going to be buying from somebody, a substantial amount. And that's why it works so well. So this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with search ads directly, but what I'm saying is you should do it, and then know that the 20 bucks you're spending to get them to your site potentially is worth it, because that person's going to be buying from somebody most likely, and you could follow them up with 15 different messages that compel them why your product or service is the best, and make that 20 bucks a lot more worth it at the end of the day to justify it. So, but with that said, if you are starting with a little bit of budget, most people, they see people in their niche running Google ads and they say, how can they afford to run all those ads? I can't afford that. Everybody started out somewhere. Usually, I know because I've dealt with hundreds of people at our advertising firm. Most people start out spending like 1, 2, 3K a month. They get that working, then it's 4, then it's 5, and then one day they wake up and now they're spending 200 grand a month on ads. So you just go in with the plan. I have $1,000 a month I can invest into this until it starts being profitable. We'll set up the tracking, we'll optimize until it's profitable. We won't care that it's not profitable for 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 months, because once it's profitable, we'll make that back in profit every month once we're hitting year 3, 4, 5. And so anyway, if you're starting out and Google says you could spend $50,000 a month, but you only have $1,000 a month to spend, what you can do is you can bid less per click than what Google says you have to spend, and you might be able to snipe some of the less competitive clicks off of Google search. This sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes if you do that, all that'll happen is you'll get lower quality clicks that convert at a lower rate, and you effectively won't make any ground. In some spaces though, that's a great strategy, because it's like buying things on discount, if you will. You could go into the store, if you had only $5 to spend at the grocery store, you could go get the manager's special and end up with a lot more food for what you had to spend. And that's essentially what lowering your cost per click lower than what Google suggests here is. If you could still get your budget spent, then you could pay less than what Google's suggesting you have to pay, particularly because you don't need to have a ton of clicks yet. And then once that works, you're going to spend more, and eventually you won't be able to just go after the bargain bin clicks. But at the beginning, particularly if your campaigns are saying limited by budget, which means that they're only being run part of the day, lower your bids until it doesn't say limited by budget anymore. Start by lowering them by 20% and then another 20%, so that your ads run all the day, and then you're getting the benefit of now you're paying less per click for, you know what I'm saying? So it makes no sense to pay full price per click and then run your ads a third of the day, because limited by budget, that's essentially what's happening, than to spend half as much per click and have your ads run all the day. So effectively you spend the same amount of money but get twice as many clicks now, if you follow my point here. So what you want to do, if this is you and you want to try this out and pay less, lower your cost per click to get more clicks for the budget you have, once you've done this, go ahead and check your search terms report and see what keywords your ads are showing up for. And if the search terms report shows you're showing up for stuff that it's relevant to what you're selling still, you're good to go. Now you are going to get a cheaper cost per click than you had to pay before, for what you have for a budget right now, which is not an astronomical amount, so you can actually just cherry pick the lowest cost clicks, if you will. sometimes you're going to go into that search terms report and see now that you lower your cost per click, you're showing up for more random shit. And then in that situation, lowering your cost per click isn't going to help you because now you're just getting to be qualified for less quality traffic. So that's why I said sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. You could go ahead and give it a shot and see if it works for you, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. So that would be one way to pay a lower amount per click, just basically starting out, or if you're not able to spend more at the moment in time. But to reinforce that whole point of what I was trying to make before, you don't need a lot of budget to make money with Google Ads. You start with what you can afford to lose, and then you just optimize that until it works, and then you raise your budget 20%, and then do that again and again and again. And sometimes it'll take 6 months before you can raise your budget again to gather enough data to optimize your campaigns enough to get to the next point. But if you don't start now, 5 years from now, you're going to wish you started. And the results compound over time, particularly as Google's algorithm, going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, is constantly figuring out which ads it should show for what keywords. And they'll find out for the keywords you bid on, should you show it for male versus female, or whether that person needs to be old versus young. And optimize your ads for the specific type of people that buy. And so over time, the more you spend with Google, the more the algorithm gets at running your ads more efficiently, and the more you're going to make. Same thing when you make revisions to your site, because if you have your conversion tracking set up, it tells you what works and what doesn't precisely. It says old versus young, this is what worked versus what this worked, how well this worked. It also says this device versus this device, what the profit was from each one. Furthermore, time of the day of the week, what state they're from, what city they're from, on and on and on and on. So it's all up to you whether you get it to work. So it's not a matter of if it will work, it's just a matter of when and how much, because you could simply weed out as much as you need to hit your ROI that you're ultimately looking for. And if you're generating leads, by the way, you should actually track whether those leads turn into sales using something called offline conversion tracking, so you can optimize your ads appropriately and find out what was worth spending the money on and what wasn't. For the most part, though, Google's tracking might only track half of the actual sales you get, because a lot of people see your ad, get to your site, then buy 6 months from now. You should know that going in. And the higher the product or service cost is that you sell, the less the conversion tracking Google is going to have. The less sales it's going to pick up, because people spend more time thinking about it. And you use the data to optimize whether you should go after male versus female, more so than here's what the ROI is on this investment. You track more so your ROI on your total investment simply by looking at your sales. And if your sales are going up, year over year, is your May better than last year's May now that you have this ad spend going? And that's how more so if your investment's paying off. But you use the data to optimize your ads and figure out as a whole what's working versus what's not working. Even though it undercounts the sales, it'll undercount evenly, basically, male versus female, this city versus that city, and so on and so forth. So anyway, that all said, this is how much you have to pay per click on Google. It varies by market. Some markets you're going to have to pay $50 a click starting out. Sometimes you're going to have to pay 10 cents a click starting out. Depends on the competitiveness of your market, and really how profitable customers are that you can get on your keywords. If you're competing for $3,000 plus jobs or sales, your cost per click can be, and there's a lot of people who can do what you can do. You're going to pay a lot of times, $50 a click starting out. Versus if you're selling a $20 product, you might be paying 10 cents a click, even if it is competitive. So it all is relative in that regard. The Google Keyword Tool is going to basically tell you what you're going to pay, and you could pay less than what the Google Keyword Tool pays once you've started advertising, by having a better click-through rate and better conversion rate than your competition, so that Google's going to lower your cost per click because of that. You're going to go after less competitive terms that you find just through advertising that show up in your search terms report. You're going to get even lower cost per click because you're going to remarket to the traffic you already have, and because your ads are super good and informative. A lot of people who've been to your site originally are going to come back to your site because you're going to advertise things like a testimonial to your customer, and then when they click on that ad, you're going to take them to a page that has just all your testimonials on it, which is really helpful for the user to decide if they haven't decided who to go with yet. And then finally, you're going to try to pay you're going to bid as low as possible or as low as you can, that will still spend your monthly budget, because that's going to get you the most clicks for your budget at whatever level your budget is at the current time. So with that said, that's the summary of what you will pay per click on Google to make money and what you should expect going in. So, and a lot of times when you combine all of this together, by the way, in a market where we're starting off paying, let's say $30 a click, we'll get the cost per click down to, $3 a click over time, because that $30 a click that we're starting out paying, once Google sees our ad have better click-through rates and conversion rates, and our landing page has better conversion rates than our competition, and we're in the top echelon, so $30 a click, they'll charge us $8. And then that $8 is going to turn into $4, because we're going to go find all the long tail keywords to go after and make custom ads for them to get more clicks on those less competitive terms. And then we're going to have heavy remarketing going. And so at the end of the day, we're paying less than 10% of what we started out for a click back to, click from our site, or click to our site from somebody that is in market for what we're selling at the end of the day. So just know when you go in, you're going to get butt raped on the price per click at the beginning. And then you're going to pay less and less and less over time. So don't get sticker shocked by the cost per click. This is just the game that is Google. You're going to have to prove to Google that you should be paying less and actually spend so you can actually pay less per click. Just do what I said, pay what you could afford to lose. And with that, you won't be struggling in any way. You won't be worried, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Because you can afford to lose it, and you'll stick with it long enough to where it can work. It's not a matter of if it will work, it's just a matter of when. If you're going to set up the better ad and the better landing page, and you are going to wait whatever amount of time it takes to accumulate enough data to bring your cost per click down so that you have a really decent cost per click, not the super high cost per click that Google gives all the suckers that are in and out in 3 months, and they basically, that's 90% of people that advertise on Google Ads. They're in, they're out in 3 months because they expect it to work right away. And you're not going to do that, because you understand that it takes time, and it's worth it to stick with it, because you're going to make millions on the back end once this is working. Once you've got the initial investment making a profit, and then you reinvest back into more ad spend over and over again, so that you're spending $30,000 a month and you're making millions per year off of this campaign. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with online ads that can make you millions of dollars with what you want to do for your company, just running online ads. And it is coming from somebody who does ad strategy as my sole job. I'm not a YouTuber, course seller, any of that bull crap. I just do ad strategy, and I give you the stuff that works on this channel. You can follow me on my blog also at guaranteedppc.com, as well as my column that I write at entrepreneur.com. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I covered here today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. You can ask me any ad-related question you'd like. I'd be happy to try to answer it for you, just as a way of giving back for watching my channel and helping us grow. As a side, if you are looking for an ad manager now or in the future, I am the best ad manager I promise you can find online that's taking on clients and work, in that we also prove that by offering our clients at the beginning guaranteed results. That is, we can increase your sales on your current ad spend before paying any fees to us. And if you don't get that increase in sales, you pay nothing to us. We have to know that we can get good results on your stuff before working on it, of course, but if you want to see if we can work together, you should reach out to my firm and we can give you an analysis on what you have and at least see if it's possible. If you don't want to work with an ad agency, by the way, you can also take us up on our offer of campaign templates that we've been offering. In that, if we've worked in your market before, and we've worked in hundreds of markets now, that we can give you the winning campaign templates that we've developed for that market, as long as you're not in a geographic market that competes with our current clients or past clients, so that you can copy and paste your ads, landing pages, campaign templates that we have that we've used in your market before into your account, and then literally get copy paste results to get the results we've been getting in that same market, in a different geographic market. So If you're interested in that, you can also reach out. Of course, we got people using these templates to start other businesses, lead selling businesses, starting e-com businesses, and so forth. If you were going to start a business, starting from a campaign template that works, that's like the smartest move you can make. But I'm not advocating per se to get distracted and not do, to do other things. I'm just stating how well these templates work. As a side as well, if you do not want to pay an ad agency fees because you don't think you can afford it or whatever, we're looking for volunteers to let us work on your campaign, but in exchange of letting us share what we're learning about your campaigns on this channel. So something of which we normally charge thousands of dollars for, as we ultimately know that people want to see content like that on this channel. So we're certainly willing to give you free services as long as we can share everything about what we're doing on your account with our community here on YouTube. And with that, if you also don't like paying management fees to an ad agency like ours, we also partner up with companies in that we are able to take 1 to 10% of a company and partner up with that company in exchange for 1 to 10% of your future sales revenue growth. We'll work on your account totally for free. And we've worked with several companies just like this in the past, all of which are doing extremely well that you could also check out and see. And so you basically pay nothing until your sales grow, and then we're long-term partners. We also work with clients along in that kind of way as well. If you want to see if you would be able to be eligible for us to work with you in that kind of capacity and actually partner up long-term like that, I'd be more than happy to speak with you about that by reaching out to me on my firm site at guaranteeppc.com. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.